Stores in San Francisco are locking up all kinds of things, not just baby formula. Look at this coffee, ground coffee, frozen food, all of this in response to a spike in shoplifting. And wow, what our cameras captured while they were rolling in the store for this story.
Did that guy pay? Did that guy pay? He didn't pay.
New this morning, retailers in San Francisco are installing unprecedented security measures, all there to protect against what's being called rampant shoplifting in the city in recent months. Exit gates, chain locks, as you see right there, key locks, as you're seeing in this image, all to prevent thieves from walking out the door with their merchandise, even mustard. CNN's Kyung La joining us now live this morning with more on this story. I am floored by what you found, Kyung.
You know, it's hard to imagine barbecue sauce behind plexiglass. And these are measures, Erica, that if you live in a big city, you're not unused to seeing, where you have to call the attendant to open up the plexiglass. But these chains and locks are fairly unprecedented. And we're talking about neighborhoods where there are multi-million-dollar homes lining the streets. And so we wanted to figure out why.
Richie Greenberg walked into a San Francisco Walgreens when he saw in the frozen food section this.
Chains, heavy chains that went from padlock to padlock on both sides of the doors. And this was bizarre, something I'd never seen before. This is just more icing on the cake, telling us that rampant crime has become a regular part of life.
So typical that in the 30 minutes we were at this Walgreens, we watched 3 people, including this man, steal.
Did that guy pay? Did that guy pay? He didn't pay.
Walgreens says this Richmond neighborhood store with aisles of products like mustard locked behind plexiglass has the highest theft rate of all their nearly 9,000 U.S. stores, hit more than a dozen times a day. When thieves turned to cleaning out ice cream and frozen burritos, workers grew so frustrated they resorted to the chains. They were ordered down by corporate because of the negative messaging. But Walgreens isn't the only retailer impacted in San Francisco.
You have to ask an employee for help.
At this store, frozen food is controlled with a cable lock. Fake eyelashes locked behind plexiglass, along with lotion and nail polish. At another grocery store, $14 bags of coffee under lock and key.
What is this?
I don't know. I don't understand why coffee.
Here she is.
But it's become kind of like a police state in San Francisco. I don't know how else to describe it.
It's not part of city life. It's not part of the way people should be living, right? And that includes folks who are committing the crimes.
Marjan Philauer, mom of 3, small business and community advocate, says these visible problems in her city are leading to renewed activism driven by residents, like the recall of the city's district attorney last year.
I think what we've seen, especially in the past couple of years, is less tolerance, more exasperation, and more movement to action by everyday San Franciscans to change how their city is run. It's not enough right now, but there is a change, and I think ultimately we will get there.
San Francisco City Supervisor Matt Dorsey, former police spokesman and recovering drug addict, sees the rampant shoplifting as a systemic problem, from city leaders to an understaffed police force to the fentanyl crisis.
When you're seeing that level of retail theft, that tends to be subsistence level retail theft.
People who are hungry.
People are hungry. There is a level of addiction playing out in many parts of our city. It's happening at levels we really haven't seen in San Francisco. What I'm hearing from my residents and what I'm hearing from San Franciscans is it's time for tough love. We are not doing any addict in this city favors by enabling behavior that is potentially deadly in ways we have never seen.
In a statement, Walgreens talked to CNN and said that it is focused on preventative measures, safety, but that retail crime remains one of the company's top challenges, especially in San Francisco. But here's something to keep in mind, Poppy and Erica, that the crime rates for property crime and violent crime at the end of 2022 were actually lower than it was before the pandemic. The challenge for the city here is that this sort of crime, this widespread sense of retail theft, is something that is so widely felt. Poppy, Erica?
Widely felt, and an interesting point, too, in your piece about a lot of this being about subsistence, right? So it's food and it's those kind of necessities. Kyung, great reporting. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Rahel?
All right, John, thank you. And still ahead for us, candy bars and other goods swiped right in front of our eyes. Shoplifting is so widespread at one store that nearly every product is chained or locked away. Find out where our cameras caught not one, not two, but 3 thefts taking place within just a matter of minutes.
Plus everything from ketchup to soap behind lock and key. CNN takes a closer look at this problem of shoplifting. All right, this morning, locking up the merchandise, even frozen pizza and ketchup. Stores in San Francisco putting basic items behind plexiglass. This amid widespread theft inside the stores there. CNN senior national correspondent Kyung Lah was there, joins us now, and you saw this all happen before your eyes, Kyung.
Yeah, John, just within 30 minutes, we went to visit this Walgreens that had really become infamous on the internet. And in those 30 minutes, we saw 3 people. I witnessed 3 people walk out with their arms full of stuff. And that's generally coffee, food, king-size candy bars. We just saw them walk simply out. Walgreens later told us that the store that we had visited was the #1 store for retail theft in all of their 9,000 U.S. locations for Walgreens. So employees who had become so frustrated by this rampant theft had resorted to putting chains, actual bike locks and chains around their frozen food section to try to deter it. Walgreens did ask them to take it down because it wasn't the messaging that they wanted. But it wasn't just Walgreens that we saw this in, John. It has been grocery stores where coffee is locked up, mustard, mayo, barbecue sauce. And this certainly leads to a sense of what is going on in the city. And here's the interesting thing. I want you to look at these statistics that the city gave us, that property crime and violent crime is actually lower at the end of 2022 as it was compared to before the pandemic. The population has grown, but the homeless population is actually down. So what is going on here? City Supervisor Matt Dorsey says he believes it's a number of things. It is lack of police officers, but also the fentanyl crisis. Take a listen.
When you're seeing that level of retail theft, that tends to be subsistence level retail theft.
People who are hungry.
People are hungry. There is a level of addiction playing out in many parts of our city. It's happening at levels we really haven't seen in San Francisco. What I'm hearing from my residents and what I'm hearing from San Franciscans is it's time for tough love.
And when Dorsey says that, he says that as a recovering drug addict. Something else to point out, John, is that there are multiple food banks within walking distance of a lot of these stores. That very Walgreens that we were at, you could walk around the corner and find access to services. Walgreens corporate did send us a statement saying that they are focused on safety and prevention, but that retail theft is a major problem, especially in San Francisco, John.